What will your morning cup of coffee look like in 5 years? Will it be an affordable daily habit, or will it become a luxury item reserved for special occasions? The global coffee market is at a crossroads, and the path we take now will determine whether coffee remains accessible or becomes a symbol of unattainable indulgence. Coffee prices have surged to historic highs, and the forces driving this increase, climate change, labor shortages, and supply chain chaos, show no signs of relenting. What happens if nothing is done? Imagine Brazil's coffee fields devastated by frost one year and drought the next, cutting production by a third. In Vietnam, droughts have led to a 20% drop in Robusta coffee, the backbone of many everyday blends. Farmers in these regions are already struggling with rising input costs and labor shortages, and many are leaving the industry altogether. The consequences of this? Global inventories of coffee beans have hit record lows, leaving markets extremely vulnerable to future disruptions. Without action, coffee prices could continue to spiral upward, leading to supply shortages, economic instability for farmers, and a radically different landscape for the $100 billion industry that fuels our daily routines. Could this signal the end of affordable coffee for millions of consumers? Will cafes struggle to survive, and will smallholder farmers be forced out of business? These are not far-fetched questions. They're realities we could face if we don't address the underlying causes driving coffee price instability. But what can be done? Are there strategies that could stabilize the market and secure the future of this essential commodity? Recent trends in global coffee markets reveal a troubling pattern of rising costs, driven by a combination of environmental, economic, and social factors. Yet amid the challenges, there are solutions and opportunities for stabilizing the market. By examining 3 key triads of factors, we can explore how to promote stability in coffee pricing, while also understanding how current disruptions have undermined these stabilizing forces. What are the strategies for ensuring a stable coffee market, and how have ongoing challenges disrupted these approaches? To create a stable coffee market, one essential triad involves investing in climate adaptation measures, leveraging technological advances, and promoting sustainable farming practices. Coffee production is highly vulnerable to climate change, which has made crops more susceptible to extreme weather events, such as droughts, floods, and frosts. By developing and implementing climate-resilient practices, such as drought-resistant coffee strains, coffee farmers can safeguard crops against these climate extremes. Technological advances offer another pillar of stability. With precision agriculture and advanced irrigation systems, farmers can optimize water use and improve yield management, mitigating the effects of unpredictable weather. Paired with these tools, sustainable farming practices like agroforestry and polyculture can protect ecosystems and reduce input costs by maintaining soil health and reducing reliance on expensive fertilizers. However, the implementation of these strategies has been hindered by escalating environmental crises. Climate change continues to destabilize global coffee production, particularly in key regions such as Brazil and Vietnam, where erratic rainfall and drought conditions are significantly reducing yields. Despite advances in agricultural technology, smallholder farmers, who dominate coffee production, often lack access to these innovations, leaving them vulnerable to the devastating effects of climate change. Furthermore, deforestation and unsustainable farming practices continue to degrade ecosystems, undermining long-term agricultural resilience. The second triad emphasizes the importance of increased market transparency, government support, and fair trade and certification programs in fostering a stable coffee market. Market transparency allows producers and consumers to anticipate supply and demand shifts, reducing price volatility. Governments can further stabilize prices by investing in infrastructure, subsidizing innovations, and offering protections to smallholder farmers, who are most affected by market disruptions. Meanwhile, fair trade and other certification programs promote fair wages and ethical practices, creating a more stable income for farmers and ensuring a steady supply of coffee for consumers. Yet, these mechanisms are being undermined by global supply chain disruptions and persistent labor shortages. The COVID-19 pandemic revealed severe weaknesses in global logistics, which continue to plague the coffee industry through port backlogs and high shipping costs. Additionally, labor shortages in coffee-producing regions, driven by urban migration and low wages, have exacerbated production delays. Without adequate government intervention or expanded market transparency, these factors contribute to ongoing price volatility, preventing a more stable market from emerging. The final triad proposes global cooperation on climate change diversification of coffee-growing regions and risk mitigation in futures markets. International climate agreements could stabilize growing conditions by addressing the root causes of extreme weather events that threaten coffee production. Additionally, expanding coffee cultivation into non-traditional regions could alleviate pressure on Brazil and Vietnam, reducing the global reliance on these two major producers. Risk management in futures markets would reduce speculation, helping farmers and buyers hedge against price volatility, and thus smooth out extreme fluctuations. Unfortunately, the opposite trends are currently in play. Speculative trading in coffee futures has exacerbated price swings, with investors driving prices up in anticipation of future supply shortages. At the same time, global coffee inventories have reached record lows, leaving no buffer to absorb shocks from climate events or supply disruptions. This combination reinforces a cycle of rising costs as traders and producers scramble to secure diminishing coffee supplies, further undermining any hope of price stability. In a world where coffee prices continue to rise, understanding the forces that could stabilize the market is essential for both producers and consumers. Climate adaptation, technology, and sustainability could secure the future of coffee production, but only if these strategies are adequately implemented. Market transparency, government support, and fair trade practices offer a pathway to protect vulnerable farmers and ensure a reliable supply of coffee. Yet these efforts are continuously undermined by supply chain issues and labor shortages. Finally, global cooperation, diversification, and market risk management provide hope for long-term stability. But speculative trading and low inventories push the market into an increasingly volatile cycle. The future of coffee may be uncertain, but by addressing these triads, we can work towards a more stable and sustainable coffee economy.